This is purely functional and evokes emotion of confidence. I really think that this could be an argument for what's called planned obsolescence. All right, what do you have for me this week?
Check this out.
True classic. This is the iconic dad bod shirt that everyone's getting. This is a 60% cotton, 40% polyester. The fabric has been peached, so they've ran mechanical bristles over the surface or sandpaper to give it this soft feeling. Fairly loose knit. So when you're knitting fabric, there's something called loose knit, tight knit. There's different yarn gauges. When you're loose knitting a fabric, one is you can reduce the cost of the fabric because you have less yarns per square inch, but you can also have fabric that is very stretchy like this, and it's very bouncy. And that bounciness comes from the actual knit structure itself. If you think of all the yarns are looped like this, we'll throw up a diagram for that. When you loose knit something, you just have a lot more yarn in that loose structure. So when you pull like this, there's more yarn for it to actually stretch with. And that's actually a mechanical stretch. That's not the yarn itself stretching, it's the knit structure itself. What else do I see here? This is okay. So we know they are creating these products for dad bods. And one problem a lot of their target demo is going to have is shirts being very tight around the midsection, because a lot of people with dad bods, they have a lot of visceral fat, which is stored in their belly. And what happens is if you have a straight side seam for a lot of t-shirts, what's going to happen is when somebody with the dad bod does wear it, because the fabric is now having to accommodate the belly as well, the shirt is going to shorten at the front, and it's actually going to create almost like a little arch because that fabric's not being stretched out. And oftentimes what ends up happening is when those users raise their hands, now their bellies are exposed. So what they've been able to do here is they've been able to lengthen the shirt, and they've given it a A-line cut. So it tapers out towards the bottom to have it not only have the coverage for the belly, but also have it so with that A-line cut, they're able to accommodate excess fabric in that area to prevent your belly from showing, which is gonna be a major pain point for a lot of guys with dad bods. So I can see here with the sleeve patterns, they've also tapered around the arm as well, and it's not that long of a sleeve, so it's going to provide a more fitted look on the user. They have a chain stitch on the back here, as well as the neck tape that goes all the way to the shoulder. What that's going to do is it's going to allow it to sit better on the body. Plus the chain stitch is going to allow it to have a little bit more stretch in the traps. We have a 1x1 ribbed collar here, and it looks to be 3/4 of an inch. There's no cover stitch. Overall, the workmanship isn't horrible, but what I would say, because this fabric has been peached and because there's polyester in here, I can almost guarantee you this will start pilling over time. So I would say the durability of this shirt isn't going to be there. One thing I would say keep in mind with the shirt is because it is 40% cotton, and because it's fairly loose knit, this shirt's gonna shrink up quite a bit in the wash. That's just one thing to keep in mind. Brands do this because they're selling these at volume. How much is the shirt again?
$29.99 US.
Okay, so for $29.99, I think you'd have to kind of limit your expectations, what you're getting here. What you are getting is a product that solves a problem. And that's why I think they sell these. They have like 10 packs, 12 packs. They really gamify purchasing a lot of these because I think they're trying to purge out most of the dads' closets for stuff that don't fit them anymore. Like, this is a very fascinating business to study if you ever get the chance. But what they've done here is they've created the right fit for the target demo they are targeting, which is dad bods. They're solving a problem in terms of the pain points a lot of people with dad bods have. However, I would say this is not something that's going to last a long time. This is going to shrink a little bit, but I think they also know the target demo. Their target demo, a lot of guys with dad bods, they're not gonna worry about pilling of fabrics because that's not a large concern of theirs. Their concern right now is cover their belly that they've most recently had form in the past few years or have had, and that they're self-conscious about. So if you are a brand and you're trying to create a product, there's two ways to go about it. You can do the, if we build it, they will come model, You know, think of like very high-end streetwear brands or very brand-focused companies. Or you can go the route of this, and they're there purely to solve a problem. They know their customers are guys with dad bods, and they're purely there servicing that problem that they have, which is why they've been able to have such successful growth, because they found a market that was not being served. I think a lot of people try to create products that are in fashion for people in their 20s, people who are going out to party to look cool. And there's this entire sector of the market that was being underserved, and they clearly identified it and they went after it. And I think they're actually doing like a few $100 million in sales because they've been able to service that need. So again, this is actually nothing too special when it comes to fashion and design, but this is a well-executed thought process and business case to conform a product to their customers. If you guys are launching a fashion brand, you really need to study this, because they really have had excellent growth because they've been able to marry the business side with the fashion side. And it really comes back to the one thing for fashion. Either has to be functional or has to evoke emotions. And this is purely functional and evokes emotion of confidence through fashion, where the user no longer has to worry about their belly being shown. So kudos to them again. Like, this is something that any brand can really create. It's nothing special. There's no proprietary technology here. But what they've been able to do again is find the right product for the right fit, and they've been able to kill it. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm actually gonna cut this up and show you guys the panel pieces you need to make a garment like this. You'll see the pattern is gonna be a little bit different than your traditional t-shirt. But before I do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe so you can see more of these breakdowns. So we're gonna cut this up. You'll notice here that there is no care labels, there is no tags. They know their target demo is going to throw the shirt in the wash with everything else, and why waste money on having those additional tags if your target demo is not going to actually look at them. So we have a 2 needle cover stitch on the side here. Rather than show you the traditional way of how we show panels, I want to show you here. Just some little bit of changes in the pattern can make a big difference in how it fits your consumer. You'll see that the A line here, again, tapers out to accommodate the end user. Whereas if we were to bring it in to be more of a straight line, what you're gonna have is something that, because the end consumers have that visceral fat in their stomach, what you're gonna have is something that's gonna be very tight around the stomach, and because the fabric is going to stretch over the stomach, it's now going to shorten. So little tiny changes in your pattern can make a huge difference in how it fits your consumer. Same thing with the sleeve here. You'll see here with the sleeve pattern, you can have a straight sleeve pattern like this, but just by tapering it in a bit, it's now going to hug the arm a little more. It's gonna make the arms look bigger because it's hugging the arms. And just the length itself, it's going to fall at the right place under the shoulder cap, around 3/4 up from the bicep, which is going to reveal the largest part of the bicep, which is gonna make the end user look a lot more muscular than they are, and overall being a lot more pleasing of a fit for the end user. So when it comes to this shirt itself, there's not a lot of technology in this shirt. There's nothing overly special, but again, they've done an excellent job in terms of identifying a need and making small adjustments in reality to service their target demographic. Let's see what the GSM of this is. It feels fairly lightweight, and again, because it's loose knit, it is gonna be fairly lightweight. But let's see what the GSM is, and then I wanna tell you what I think this costs to make. One thing to keep in mind too, is when you're making basic t-shirts like this, that only have little fit adjustments, your manufacturing costs can be significantly cheaper than a company that is making technical leggings or few seam jackets, just because there's so many factories that are set up to make t-shirts. So you're able to find a factory that pumps these out all day long. They're probably stacking them this thick. They're not gonna have to worry about relaxing the fabric because it's all loose knit. and they're able to just cut these out and make these as efficiently and as cheaply as possible, which I think at $29.99, there's a fairly good margin in there, and they very much incentivize buying 10, 12, 15 shirts at a time. So you're able to spread your customer acquisition cost over multiple units, which is really great for business. So here we're gonna get a cut of it. So 154 GSM. It's a weird place to be, 154. Usually you're probably, especially for a shirt like this, the end consumer is not really gonna care about the specific weight and feel. So I'd expect they're either targeting 160 or 150, or it could have started off at 160, and with the peaching process, it's actually peached on both sides. They've lost some of that weight. And again, on the inside, we're already starting to see some places starting to pill. So keep that in mind if you are gonna buy this shirt. It probably will start pilling over time. But again, when it comes to the target demo, most males are just gonna blame themselves for pilling rather than blame the brand, even if they were set up to fail. That's just the reality of creating products for men. You'll see here, I just did a very simple rub test between my fingers. You're already starting to see the pilling. You know, after actually seeing how easily this pills, I really think this is and the fact that they sell these in like 10 packs, I really think that this could be an argument for what's called planned obsolescence, where you are creating products that it might not be designed not to last, but through the choices that are made to create a product that is as cheap as possible are not going to last. And when you're selling this many shirts, like guys are gonna buy 10 packs, 12 packs, 15 packs of these, and they're only at $29.99, and if you discount it, I think it's like 50. There's a lot of gamification when it comes to True Classic and their pricing. Most consumers are not gonna go back to the brand and complain that, hey, their shirt's not wearing well. They're just gonna buy new ones, which is almost like a Gillette razor kind of model. I would say that this shirt probably costs no more than $4 to make in China. The choice for 60% cotton and 40% polyester is you're able to make a cheaper product because of the polyester, but you're able to benefit from cheaper duties because of the cotton. And this being 60% cotton, 40% polyester. Polyester is there to make it cheaper, a little more dimensionally stable. The cotton is there to benefit from cheaper duty rates. So really looking at this as a brand, would I say buy it? Again, I think they've done, as a business, I'm very fascinated by it because they've clearly done an excellent job finding a target demo and creating products for them. However, as a product itself, if I were to remove the business side of this and just look at it in its isolation, I don't think this is actually that great of a shirt. I think they could have created a shirt that, again, followed the same pattern, followed the same fit, but the consumer maybe had to pay $35 for and would last a significantly longer time. Because of the choice of materials they could have utilized, because of how it was knit, they could have created a product that's going to last a lot longer. But again, this is capitalism at the end of the day. Companies are there to make money, and the model that they've created is going to extract a lot of money from this target demo, because most dads, most people, I'm a dad, but most people with dad bods are going to find a product and just stick with it and not have to worry or think about what other brands to switch to. So once they've captured their audience and they have a product that's not going to last, they're going to be able to sell this to consumers continually for a really long time. And yeah, this is a very fascinating business case study, but as a product, I would say it's okay. But as a company, man, this is really, whoever's the CEO of this company knows what they're doing on the business side and the marketing side. This is the True Classic tee. Again, this is nothing too special about it, but this has been a fascinating case study on how to create a brand for a captured audience. So I'm Joe, until next time. If you guys want to see more behind the scenes secrets on the fashion industry and learn more about how to create products and brands, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out these videos.